Once we become a seeker, we are very clear that this seeker in us is seeking and wants to discover peace and happiness within. So the next question comes, do I ever experience happiness in my life? The answer is very clear. I give value to my car while driving, I get happiness. I give value to a person I love, it gives me happiness. I give value to a particular food, it gives me happiness. Isn't it? I read a book, I give value to a book, it gives me happiness. So the first thing to understand it clearly, that happiness which we call pleasure comes by contact between you and either it may be a person, it may be a place, it may be an object, it may be an event, or it may be a time. Do you see that? Oh, I like this food, let me cook this food and sit and eat. So this happiness is known as pleasure. So I get pleasure, which is also, I experience that, and that gives me a sense of happiness. Do you see that? We all experience happiness. We all experience happiness in our life at one time or on small things. But now see the problem. The problem is, I experience happiness which is known as a pleasure at one time. Next time maybe less, and 10th time no pleasure. So what is the problem? Once you pay attention, the mindfulness and meditation awakens to inner peace and happiness. Are you understanding that?
Yes.
So I was telling the guy, I asked him, what do you like? Pasta. Okay. Pasta gives you happiness? Oh, yes. I said, okay. I will serve you pasta in the breakfast, in the lunch, in the dinner for about a month. Will you get happiness? No. I will not get happiness. But why? I'm getting happiness by eating pasta. I like pasta. But why? So we don't think in this proper way. Why I don't get happiness, which is known as pleasure, by eating what I like. By eating what I like. Repeat action. Repeat action decreases the pleasure. Do you see that? First time we are married, oh yeah, what a good thing. And after a few months, that pleasure is gone down. And after that, gone. You see that in anything, with a person, with an object, oh, I got a house, what a beautiful house. We take care. And after a few weeks, gone. We have to understand this. We have to understand one point. Whether it is happiness, that is pleasure, is it inside the food that we eat or within me. So that is the part of the contemplation. The more we contemplate, and I realize that very pleasure is my experience that is within me. Do you see that? The pleasure is not in the food, not in the car, not in the house, not in a person. I label husband, wife, son, daughter, father, mother, friend. Do you see that?
Yeah.
When you see that clearly, it means the contact triggers happiness in me, within me. First thing to understand. Second thing to understand, the pleasure is short-lived. It doesn't last long. You may do anything in the world. We may get $1 billion, but it doesn't buy happiness. So what it means, anything outside. What it means? Money, sex, food, clothes, car can trigger my mind to experience happiness within, but they do not contain happiness. Isn't it? Isn't it true? My master used to say that every day you have to contemplate. Why? Then the mind stops running. And the mind stops running, the moment the mind stops running, it reveals happiness. Do you see that point? My master always used to say, no, go and contemplate. So when I contemplate and reflect on it, then what happens? Reflect on this, then what happens? My mind stops running, and when my mind stops running, I become the seeker, and when I become the seeker and practice meditation, the mind is always ready, ever ready to meditate. It doesn't worry about any thought, because the thought is always related to people. Thought is always related to an object outside. Thought is always related to the food and the clothes. That is the one question is solved. But I'm seeking happiness. So the mind asks, okay, I'm seeking happiness. I'm a seeker of inner peace and happiness. And you are telling me that the outer objects and the people can trigger the happiness which is known as a pleasure, and the pleasure is short-lived, then what should I do? So until we ask these questions to our mind, the mind does not necessarily change. So the master says, okay, now subconsciously you realize that this pleasure comes by contact, triggers the state of the happiness within you, but it is short-lived. Hence, can I extend that pleasure? Can I extend that pleasure? So that is the second level, which we say satisfaction happiness. What is the meaning of satisfaction? I know you play music. Music gives you much more an extended happiness than eating a food. Is it not? People become scientists and researchers. So they work with their total dedication. They are absorbed continuously for hours together every day. And that is another level of happiness. Level of happiness, that is satisfaction. But can I work? And the modern man has become crazy. Why? First they get happiness by doing some creative work, and later on what happens? Later on, that satisfaction in the work makes them crazy. They are always busy, always worried. You see that? Always worried. Oh, I'm getting $5,000, so let me get worried. So here one guy is there. He told me that I'm putting almost 80 hours per week in my business for the last 2 years. I said, come on. Can you take a break for 80 hours in a week and let me change your mind completely? You will have no problem of insomnia, disturbed sleep, stress and anxiety, and reaction and anger. Can you? Are you ready? So instead of satisfaction, I fall prey to anxiety, the duality, and the conflict. But why? I'm sincerely putting my 80 hours on a job, and initially it was giving me satisfaction, but now it is giving me stress. How come? The same work in the beginning gave me happiness, and now the same work giving me a lot of stress. Hyperactivity. What happened? First is the same. Object triggers happiness, and the value also triggers, satisfaction also trigger happiness. Satisfaction when your mind changes. You see that when your mind changes from satisfaction to what? Let me do it more. Let me do it more. Let me do it more. So when you let me do more, makes our mind crazy. And that is what the problem of modern man. Initially I asked him, this guy, I asked him that, can you reorganize your work and find out during the weekdays how many times your mind repeats mentally the same thing again and again, and stop it. You will be able to reduce from 80 to 40 hours, and you'll have enough time to sleep. Reorganize. And he was not ready to understand. And at last I told him, give me 80 hours. Are you ready? I will not charge you the money. I'll give you the entire program. I'll spend about 3 to 4 hours per day for 6 days, and I'll give you that. All problems will be gone. And what he was telling me, oh, sir, can I learn meditation? Can you teach me meditation? Come on. You are already in anxiety for almost 80 hours a week, and you want to practice meditation? Not possible. You have to calm down the mind. You have to understand it. So that is what I'm telling. The second level of the happiness is all comes through the satisfaction. This is extended pleasure. Now see the extended pleasure, the third point. We do, you do, and I do. You do in a different manner, I do in a different manner. The third level is what we say extended pleasure, is the value happiness. What is value happiness? This is also an extended pleasure. What is value? Let me help others. You help me, you help others also. You serve other people. It's a kind of unselfish act. Unselfish act, unselfish works in life. It gives you more happiness than the previous two. But still it depends on outside factor. You see, that depends on outside factor. Look at our Falsua. We have a value. We want to care him. We want to help him, but he's not ready. So forget about it. So there the value happiness has no value. You see, that unselfish act. You definitely wanted, I always wanted that, anytime, anywhere. But no, if I'm not ready to, the other person is not ready to accept that, forget about it. Forget about any kind of a service. Then what is left with us? There the master says, what every master say, that happiness is within you. Continue. First he says, continue what you are doing. Continue what you are doing. What you are eating a particular food, it's okay. You are enjoying a ride in a car, okay. You like particular clothes, okay. You see that? That is where the people get confused. They say, no, it is talking about renunciation, it is talking about detachment. No, continue doing the same thing. Don't change anything outside. Live the life. But what? Don't change outside what you do. Change your mind. Always remember what happiness is within me. Happiness is within me. It is not outside. Once the mind is clear, now what happens? You like pasta, go and cook it and eat it, but at the same time, now you are becoming aware of the experience that is happening inside. Because of eating pasta, you are fully aware that pasta does not contain happiness, but it triggers the sense of the pleasure. And I have to discover inner peace and happiness in my life. Are you clear? There are 4 stages. First, pleasure, short term. Second, satisfaction pleasure. It again depends on the object and the person outside. Third, value happiness. Think of it, if there are no poor people, the rich people who are donating the money into the charity will become crazy. Because no one is ready to accept the money. Everyone is rich. Everyone is able to feed themselves. They are not ready to take the money. The rich people will become crazy. You see that? That is what the Master says. Please understand. The Master says, understand that giving charity to a people who doesn't have the money gives you happiness. That happiness is within you. It is not in the poor people. Poor people is already in miseries. always worried about the next meal. See that. That is, once we it does not mean that if I have enough, let me spare it. What Master says, don't change anything outside. What you are doing, continue doing it. But become aware inside that the peace and happiness is within you. And once we understand that the peace and the happiness within us through our experiences, by learning from our experiences, then what happens? Then the mind says, I'm done with everything outside. I'm done with everything outside. Now is the time to do something inside. And the moment we start doing something inside, that becomes a method, practice, process of meditation. And that's why we have thousands of practices of meditation. You see that we have thousands of practices. We are now learning we are making a higher journey to the meditation, and that needs to follow certain principles, and that is what I'm covering, those principles one after the other. What is left outside now, see that. What is left outside? Nothing. For the sake of happiness, nothing. So what will happen to the mind? Mind will say, okay, I'm ready. When the mind will say, I'm ready, what it means? Then I'm the seeker. When I'm the seeker, the mind normally does not wander. Why it does not wander? It does not give any value to any thought. Why? You see, the Master says, why you don't give the value once you become a seeker? Because the thought is related to outside. Thought is always related to either people, place, object, event, and the time. And this mind knows the happiness is inside me. So thoughts are coming, let it come and go. The mind remains cool and calm in the midst of those activities. And that mind always succeeds in meditation. It goes beyond experience of relaxation and calmness. Why it goes beyond, and then we will solve. Because now the seeker is aimed at self-discovery. Let me know, who am I? Who am I? So when I know who am I, then the mind is always ready for meditation. Are you getting simple principles? So again revising it in 1 minute, and then we will go for meditation. Where it says pleasure, happiness. So I'm learning from my experiences. I'm eating pasta every day, but not every day gives me the same pleasure, same happiness. Why? Because the repeat pleasure decreases the very pleasure or happiness. Because the happiness is not within the pasta, but it is within me. But still I get happiness. It is my experience. I eat a food of my choice, it gives me happiness. Because that food triggers your mind that I will get happiness, and for some time the mind is totally cool and calm. It stops all the search, and I experience happiness. Second, the second level, the mind realizes that these are short-term happiness, so let me do some creative work. I become scientist, I become engineer, doctor, I'm totally absorbed into my work. In my daily activities, I become a musician and a singer. My mind is absorbed for a sufficient period of time, and that is an extended pleasure, but that extended pleasure leaves me the moment I leave the work. Second level. Third level, okay, now I'm not doing creative work to meet my selfish, and I want to help people, I want to serve, I want to volunteer, I want to do something good for the society, for the nation, for the people. And then again I am frustrated. It still gives me an extended sense of happiness. Because my master used to say one thing very good. He says that one of the major reasons in 90% of the people is that they are very much carried away by the people outside, by the objects outside, whether it's a value happiness, whether it is a satisfaction happiness, whether it's a pleasure happiness. The moment the mind is not carried away, how? The mind becomes aware, it knows happiness lies within me. And we can immediately transition to the fourth stage. Okay, now I firmly believe that happiness is within me, the peace is within me. I have to discover peace and happiness first within me. And I will stop looking for peace and happiness outside. But it doesn't mean that I stop doing any activity, what I'm doing outside. I continue to do the same thing. That part people do not understand. What they understand, let me detach myself from the food that I like. It doesn't work. It creates a conflict in the mind. And that is why I say we are making a higher journey. Our goal, our focus is who am I? That is the journey. Let us start our journey. Practically today the eyes are closed. The eyes are closed. So when I say eyes are closed, the first step would become learning from your experiences. What is that learning? Eyes are closed. Okay, you are comfortable. So look at the head and the neck. Look at the neck joint and feel the sensation and be comfortable. Being comfortable. But still we are learning from our experiences. That very comfort is my experience now. Here and now. Second part, it is free from any activity, one, any object, any person outside. See that? So this is a very subtle movement of the mind. The mind is fully aware. No thought which is related to anything outside has to do with the happiness. So what happens? What happens? The mind realizes, it learns from the experiences that it is comfortable, at ease. Even though we continue the practice, which is very outer format, looking at the shoulder joints, feeling the sensation, being comfortable. Okay, the hip joint, feeling the sensation and being comfortable. Knee joints, ankles, toes, the entire body is comfortable. So the very comfort is our experience here and now. Free from that comfort as an experience is free from any activity, any object, any person outside. I'm just a pointer, my friend, and I'm just a pointer. I'm making you aware. So that point needs to be understood clearly. Let us have the second point to understand. The second point to understand is who gives me the experience? Who gives me the experience? Object, person, place, event and time outside gives experience within. Understanding, just an awareness is required. Just an experience, just an awareness is required. What did I say? That needs to be understood. My master used to say, if you do not understand clearly where the meditation is leading you to, it will not succeed. So understand, you are doing the practice in your home. The home is an object outside. The body is an object outside, and you experience. Your experience is comfortable, safe, and secure at home. Safe, secure, and comfortable at home. This comes by default. So all experiences happen within us. All experiences happen within me, related to any object outside. I want an experience without an object. You see that? From object outside. And what is my goal? My goal is objectless experience. That is what the mindfulness is. That is what the mindfulness is. At our age, in our life, both of us, it is our journey. We should continue to see that happiness free from any object from outside, even though I accept all the experiences within. So from there, we coin the word be carefree until you discover. Now, later on we will take care. But during the practice of meditation, until we discover that happiness within, what we do, we become carefree. Thoughts are coming, feeling is coming, all experiences are coming and going. Let them come and go. So let them come and go. Sometimes what happens, the body is already comfortable, but as we progress into meditation, the mind, due to its habit, gets into anxiety. It says, no, let me move the body. No. It wants to change the experience. Why? For the sake of happiness. But we are already working on it. It is important to settle the mind and body through the mind and breath through the mind to allow the mind to be objectless. You see that? What should we do? That is what we have been doing. Now we have a clear understanding. Okay, look at the head and the neck. Feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Body through the mind. The mind is the cause of the misery. That is what we are doing. So look at the right arm, feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Left arm, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Chest and the belly, body through the mind. We are settling the mind. How? The body, we are settling the body through the mind. So what is that part? What is that means? Let the mind have an experience, and we will continue with that experience in the body. Chest and the belly, experience, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Good. Right leg, sensation, relaxation and stillness. Left leg, sensation, relaxation and stillness. The entire body. You see that point? How easy it is. Now you have a clear understanding. What is that clear understanding? That we are working on the mind, not we are working on the mind for the sake of mind. Now, how to work on breath for the mind? So in that state, let us become aware of the breath. At that point, when you are aware of the breath, it works. So normally what people say here, focus on the breath. No, we don't ask the mind to do anything. We say just maintain your awareness on changing your experience. So you look at the breath. The breath goes in and out. You feel the sensation of the breath. Very good. What else? Do not change the rate. Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Okay? And you continue with that. So what happens? Gradually what happens? The mind goes beyond the body. Because mind gradually withdraws itself from the body. So you're looking at the body. No, you just experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. How simple it is. Look at the breath goes in and out, you feel the sensation, no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. And now comes what? Is there any object inside? No. Because there is no object inside, so we say keep awareness of the breath one way. At the same time, look behind the breath, where the movement of the breath is happening. The first experience, it is happening in the space. Second experience, it is happening in the emptiness. Third experience, maybe it is happening in the blankness. And then what happens? That is what we have understood. The object-less state of the mind. What is the objectless state of the mind? Mindfulness. Do nothing. Remain as it is. That is what I say. Do nothing, but continue to have an experience of the state. And when we continue to have these experiences by repeat practice every time, something happens. The mind changes. Now it discovers that yes, I am the experiencer, not the experience happening in the mind, and you are in mindfulness. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences, bring the hands down. Let us share our experiences now.